Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Austin here, or Luna. So, today's story, judging by the title, is quite the interesting one. And I look back on this and think, dude, what the hell even happened? So, I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's just get into it because it's a good one. So, today's story all takes place back when I was 11 years old. Now, when I was 11 years old, okay, I was a pretty easygoing child, all right? I really only loved like three things. That was Burger King, playing Xbox, and hanging out with my other, 11 to 12-year-old friends. I was a very simple child, and I was a very innocent child, okay? This was before I became Luna, the Luna that you guys all know, all right? This was back when I was a baby, all right? The funny thing is, though, at 11 years old, I actually still wanted to do YouTube. I actually had a YouTube channel back then as well. It was not Luna, though, and I'm not giving you guys the name, because even though I don't think it's up anymore, I don't even want the chance of those videos ever seeing the light of day to anybody. But anyway, back to the story. Yeah, I was 11. I loved eating junk food, hanging with my friends, and playing Xbox. That was pretty much the things I loved to do at 11 years old, right? So one day at 11 years old, I got a call. Well, actually, I didn't get a call. My mom got a call. On the kitchen phone. We had a home phone back then. Don't really have those anymore. But yeah, there was a home phone, and my mom answered it. And it was my best friend at the time's mom. And she was like, hey, I was just wondering if you wanted to take Austin over next Saturday to spend the night at my house because we're having Cody's birthday party. And Cody at the time was my best friend. He was a year older than me. He was 12. I met Cody at a junior teen night. Yeah, there was a gym in my hometown that used to have teen night every Friday and Saturday. And I think Friday was actual teen night, so you had to be like above 13. And then Saturday was junior teen night. So if you were like, I think 10 to 12, you could go. So yeah, I went there and that's where I met Cody. And we'd always just go there and hang out at the gym. And when I say the gym, I don't mean like lifting weights. It was like a YMCA essentially. So there was like, a pool and like jungle gym, and there was also a bounce house. It was just like a little kid's dream, essentially. I loved it over there. But anyway, yeah, I met Cody at junior teen night. Within like a year, he was pretty much my best friend. We hung out all the time whenever we could. And yeah, when I found out that my mom, talked to his mom and that I was going to go to his house next Saturday to spend the night and hang out with him at his birthday party, I was excited. Because even though me and Cody were really good friends, I never met Cody's friends from like his school. And if they were as cool as Cody were, I was stoked, because that means I would just have a whole new group of awesome friends, right? So fast forward to that next Saturday, I was excited. I woke up, I was so excited from like the minute that I woke up to the minute that we were in the car on the way there. And I had my gift for him. Actually, my mom had the gift because I did not buy that shit. I was 11, I had no money. But yeah, I was excited, right? Me and my mom got him a Nerf gun set, so that was cool. It was like 4 Nerf guns, and back then, Nerf guns were the shit. I don't know if they are still nowadays, but they were really fun back in the day. But yeah, I got this Nerf gun set for him. We were on the way with the set in the car. It was all wrapped up in gift paper. We get to Cody's house. Cody had a really nice house. I was like kind of jealous. I can't lie. It was beautiful. Another reason I was just excited to stay there because the house was awesome and he had like a whole basement to himself essentially. So we get to his house. Me and my mom walk in. My mom talks to his mom for a little bit because they were friends. Cody comes to the door, says what up to me, brings me downstairs, introduces me to all of his friends, and just as I expected, they were all really awesome kids, like really cool. They were all a year older than I was because I was 11 and Cody was 12, so I was actually the youngest one there. And at first I was like nervous about that, but I learned pretty quickly that they didn't give a shit, so that was cool. But about like 2 hours later, this other kid showed up. It was Cody's cousin. And he was the last person coming, so after he got there, everybody was there. And he was the oldest person at the party. He was 13. So yeah, Cody's cousin, oldest person there. And I could tell almost immediately that because he was older than everybody, he thought that he was like cooler than all of us. Like he thought like he was the cool kid and everybody else was like a little baby. And I mean, he was a teenager technically, so I guess that made him feel cool. But I also realized something else upon his arrival to this birthday party. He was definitely a little bit of like a troublemaker. Like I could tell just immediately upon talking to this kid that like he would be the type to like throw a party if his parents weren't home or like, go and try and buy some beer underage, like that kind of kid, right? Like I could just tell by talking to him. And back then at 11 years old, I was a pretty pure soul. I definitely thought like kids like that should be avoided. And it's so hilarious to hear me say that even to myself because, I mean, look at the stories I've told on this channel about my teenage years. I definitely became everything I thought I should avoid. But anyway, yeah, this kid definitely seemed like a little bit of a troublemaker, and I could tell that Cody's mom was worried about Cody's cousin because she kept coming downstairs and like checking on us, and she'd be like, "Are you all right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then she'd point to Cody's cousin and be like, "You doing all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she's like, "All right, just checking." And then she'd go upstairs, and she probably knew him better than all of us because it was literally her nephew. So yeah, it just seemed like she was worried, right? And I didn't think much of it. I was like, he might be a little bit of like a rebellious like kid, but he's Cody's cousin. I'm sure he's cool. And fast forward like a couple hours later, it's getting a little bit late. We got done eating dinner and having cake and opening gifts and stuff, and we're back down in the basement, and Cody's parents are about to go to bed, right? So it's just all of us. It's probably like 13 kids in total. So me, Cody, all these other kids, and then Cody's cousin are in the basement, and we're just playing Halo and like hanging out, talking, drinking Mountain Dew Voltage, because back then that was like the party drink of my child years. And Cody's cousin comes up to me and Cody, because we're like kind of separated from everybody else. And he's like, "Yo, you guys want to see something cool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And Cody's like, "Yeah, what do you got?" And he's like, "Bro, I found this under my dad's bed." And he takes out this little baggie of white powder. Now let me stop real quick before I continue this story, okay? No 11-year-old or child should see that shit. Like, that young is crazy to see that for the first time. So anyway, back to the story. I see this little baggie of white powder that he pulls out, right? And me and Cody look at each other with the same reaction, kind of like this look of like, "Yo, what the hell are we seeing right now?" And we both knew what it was, or at least what it probably was, And Cody's cousin's like, "It's pretty cool, right?" And me and Cody are like, "Yeah, dude, that's sick." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I think I'm going to try some tonight." And that's when me and Cody were like, "What?" And I kind of like chimed in. I was like, "Yo, dude, probably not a good idea." And he's like, "Why?" And I was like, "You're like 12 or 13, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm 13, bro. I'm old enough." And like, I still laugh at that sentence now. And even back then, I like chuckled and I was like, "Dude, you're not old enough, bro. Like, no." And he's like, "Dude, yes, I am." Then this other like random kid comes over, one of Cody's friends, and he like sees us all like in a circle. He's like, "What are you guys doing? What are you talking about?" And he sees the bag with the white powder in it. And he's like, "Is that what I think it is?" And we're all kind of like, "Yeah." He's like, "Whoa, where did you find that?" And Cody's cousin's like, "My dad had it." And he's like, "Your dad does that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to try it tonight." And even that random kid was like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that, man." And he's just like, "Damn, you guys are all prudes. Like, I'm not going to do it one time and become a drug addict. Like, I'll be fine." And we all kind of just look at each other like in awkward silence. And then he gets up and he storms off. He goes over to the Xbox, sits down with some of the other friends, starts playing Halo with them. And we're just sitting there in our little circle, me, Cody, and Cody's friend. And Cody looks over at me and he's like, "I think I'm going to tell my mom." And I was like, "Yeah?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, like, I don't want to see my cousin hurt himself and do that." And I was like, "Honestly, man, I think that's the right thing to do." And looking back, I think it still is the right thing to do. Like, if you're a kid that young with something that dangerous as a child, like, that's not good. So yeah, I think he did the right thing. He jumped up, walked upstairs, went and told his mom, and then all hell broke loose. His mom came like barreling down the stairs like 10 minutes later, like yelling, asking for him to come upstairs. He came upstairs, the cousin. I heard yelling upstairs for a little bit, then I heard crying, and all of like the people downstairs, all of Cody's friends were all super confused because only like the one kid besides me and Cody knew about it. So the rest of like the 12 or 11 kids were all just like, "What's going on up there? Like, did he do something wrong?" And like, we're just sitting there quietly. So what ended up happening is Cody's uncle pulled up, picked up Cody's cousin, told the parents, Cody's parents, that the bag didn't belong to him, that it was his girlfriend's or something. And like, that doesn't make it any better in my opinion, even if it's true. Because like, either way, bro, you have a kid. Like, you can't be dating someone that's doing that or be doing it yourself, period. Like, you have a child, bro. Like, it's time to grow up and stop snorting shit up your nose. Like, that's not cool. You're just making it easier for yourself to die and not be there for your kids. So, yeah, not really good parenting move in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, he came, gave him a story, picked up Cody's cousin, grounded him for like a month is what I was told. And you want to know the most unfortunate thing about this entire story, and the craziest thing in my opinion, is like 6 months later, according to Cody, his cousin was doing a bunch of different drugs, like smoking, taking pills, I heard, like stuff that no 13-year-old should be exposed to, let alone be doing. So yeah, very sad stuff, and he essentially ended up becoming a drug addict. But there also is a good thing here, okay? 3 or 4 years later, he went to rehab and got better. So from like 13 to like 16 or 17, he was doing a lot of stuff that wasn't good for him, but he was able to get clean, and he's been clean for all these years since. So he's no longer doing anything that's gonna, kill him essentially. But still one of the craziest things I witnessed as an 11-year-old kid. I mean, at 11 years old, I didn't witness really anything that was that crazy, and that was wild to me. Like, just seeing it all unfold and hearing about it after the fact and like what happened to him, and then coming around and getting better, like it's just a whole insane like strain of events. So yeah, moral of the story is just don't do any of the stuff I was talking about in this story time. That simple. But yeah, guys, definitely a crazy one. And I don't tell a lot of stories from when I was 11, so leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. But yeah, guys, I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.
I be fully loaded, I be whipping foreign cars. Always stay devoted, mama knew I'd be a star.